Here, or you ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that.
Starting on my field line.
Just filling pages.
Yeah.
That was the school budget wasn't in there. It's in there now.
Write a report showing that's good. CT's coming in their blood for it.
Well, these nervous times every time you get going. I mean, it's just...
I'm sorry, Bobby. What were you saying?
Prayer?
Yes,
Who's gonna lead the prayer?
I am.
Okay.
If y'all will rise, if you wish. After I lead the prayer, we'll have Glenn Wimberly will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance. And I want y'all to think during this prayer to remember the Hollingsworth family here. Todd's son passed away, and our hearts go out to you. Our Heavenly Father, be with us during this meeting of the county government. Talk to us, Father, and let us listen to you. We want to be fair and honest in our dealings and with the people's money. Use us, Lord, as an instrument of yours. Please be with the armed services in this country and our veterans. We ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Bobby, if you would call the roll, please.
Martin Barker.
Present.
Buster Reed.
Here.
Todd Hollingsworth.
Here.
Jim Manning.
Here.
Jim Bush.
Here.
Kevin George.
Here.
Clint Higgins.
Here.
Tony Neal.
Here.
Edward Mooneyham.
Here.
Bob Stetson.
Here.
All present.
Okay, in your packets, I sent along a summary of last month's meeting. If there are any questions about it, if there's any mistakes in there. Okay, if you've read the summary, when you got your packet there, I'll entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
I second.
No,
I'll make a motion.
there you go. Kevin George made a motion and Jim Bush seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Aye. We're going to be having a couple pieces of old business tonight that we're addressing. It's still on the it's still unfinished business. But at first, we want to call Faye Morris, the EMA director. There are some questions that need to be asked of her. And Commissioner Higgins, I'm sure that she wants to know why she was called up here.
Let me find it. Hold on 1 second. I was told during the Homeland Security July's meeting that the meeting was adjourned during a discussion. Is that any truth to that?
Not during the discussion, there was a motion on the floor to adjourn, and it was a tied vote, and it came to me to break the tie, and it was done.
Okay. The reason I brought you here, I've got some questions. In the Homeland Security budget, I know there's not anything in there this year for any kind of money of that nature, but I was noticing last year and the year before, if you look at the 2011-2012, there was $406,712
I
in.
don't have what you're looking at.
You don't have that Homeland Security budget?
I have nothing of what you're looking at right there. Where you going? Oh, down here?
It's on page 20.
Okay.
It'll be the bottom line is for
I see
406,000.
what he's got an arrow.
Okay.
What's the question?
My question is on the line, the item number 599. It says other supplies and materials, and there's $182,915 in that line item, and I'm just curious to what that is, because that's a pretty vague description of a lot of money.
Where's, show me where is,
What page?
Page 20.
Page 20.
oh, you're
Line
on 10.
599.
You're on 10.
$54,900.
Yeah.
Mine ain't the same as what I'm looking at. Right here.
Other public safety.
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
And it says what now?
Other supplies and materials, and that, like I said, that's a pretty vague description of $182,000.
It's the tower project. It's the
Okay.
tower. I don't know, I don't see these figures like this right here, so Diane will have to help me with that.
And what were they, Diane?
The power project, you know, for 911.
The new communication tower they're putting up.
74,000 was for the communication tower.
And the year before, it was $239,000 in that.
Well, that was just the different things. You want to know what we bought in those years?
Well,
Is that what you're asking?
Yes. I would like, I mean, like I said, that's a pretty vague description of what,
Well,
that could be anything. And and like I said,
I have no way of knowing how they list things.
Diane, do you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll have to go out there and tell you what got paid over there, but, you know, we just put it under, a lot of times 599 is just
Well, I'm with,
Catch y'all.
I think you just
with
have to
Mr.
follow
Higgins here,
along.
that's a lot of money for kind of miscellaneous stuff.
and now, are you the one that signs off on some of these Homeland Security grants and the one that approves stuff and writes these grants and?
Mike signs off on all grants. Is that?
Well, I mean, as far as, but what I'm saying is though, so you don't know exactly what all that money.
If it's put a different way, I can tell you where every penny of it is.
Right.
But you've got numerous years. For instance, in '08, 183,720 of it started out with the tower. We had to move the tower to '09 because it wasn't finished. And same way with the Metro, the TMAC, the ICOL, all that had to be moved. We got the portable interoperable device, which is a box that holds the 700 radio, the 800 radio. It's a interoperability for disasters. It's just a big yellow box. GPSs, it says 3. Those went to EMS. They had requested some in the FY10 grant, but they needed them sooner, so we went ahead and gave them the hazmat ones. The AED, that went on my truck. The triage supplies and the duodope nerve agents, we did not have to pay for those. So that's $183,000. That's '08. And I'm going off the stuff that Roy passed out. I'm going to do the other day. This is not my stuff, so.
Now, who oversees all that grant money and decides on what it's spent on and how it's spent? And
There's committees in Nashville under District 5, and we have representatives on all committees, and those committees decide, and then they bring it before the task force, and they decide as a whole what, like last year communications chose not to participate. Law enforcement chose to put a large sum into the fusion center, and then those committees all come before us, the task force, and then we vote on what's presented to us.
I've got a couple other questions about some other things. the current truck that was, I think, awarded last year for the vehicle, the command vehicle, command mobile, and was that awarded, the grant was road?
That came through Homeland Security.
And when was that truck awarded? Last year? June, I think June maybe, last year. Is that truck was written on a grant for a primary mover, is that correct?
It is written, they wrote that as a communication vehicle. And it can be used as a prime mover, but it is the county communication. Like, that's where we carry all those radios, and we've got a big radio that's ordered to go into it right now that's supposed to be. None of that's in this paperwork. I'm sure you've got a copy of that.
Yeah, I've got a copy of the grant.
Because it's supposed to be lettered and all that, and we
It's
still
supposed-
haven't got the county commission to approve the budget for the lettering. We can't letter it right
Has there ever been an amendment submitted for that?
now. It was on my budget last year.
It was on your budget last year? And there wasn't enough money there to do it with?
We didn't get that. And we had a purchase order, but there wasn't enough funds to do that. But the truck has to be repainted because of all the damage that's been done to it. So we can't do anything until the truck is redone.
Like I said, they've got it noted as a prime mover. Who else? Well, first of all, how many miles is on the truck, give or take?
11,000, something like that.
Who all uses this vehicle?
I do. When the guys were going the other day to look at the truck they were using, and I decided to go with them. So, but mostly me.
The grant specifically stipulates that it's not to be assigned to one individual. It's to be assigned as a pool vehicle. And it's not to be...
There is an addendum to that, and I don't have that with me, that moves that into a communication 24/7 vehicle.
Is that okay to be an administrative vehicle as well?
It's not listed as administrative. It's a response vehicle, and I'm on call 24/7. 365.
Okay. That was just some other questions. Another one, on your inventory list, and I don't know, did you get your updated inventory list?
Well, I worked on it some
Okay.
more, but I mean, I still won't swear that it's up to date because I'm still spending a world of time at the hospital.
Now, was there another truck prior to this one that was, that had a blown motor in it?
Right.
And what was that truck?
It was a 2006 Ford.
Okay. It's not listed on your inventory list?
Because it doesn't belong. Because it was a Homeland Security vehicle, you cannot sell Homeland Security vehicle or equipment. Like if we sell anything we purchased with Homeland Security, you then in turn have to take those funds and send them back to Homeland Security, send those back to Washington. You're not allowed to keep those funds. But you can trade that vehicle in. And that's what the UASI did. They traded that vehicle in on the truck that I have now.
Okay. Well, those are some of the questions I had and concerns that I was wondering about, and I think you pretty well answered my questions, so.
Okay. Any questions? Now, we do have another request of Ms. Morrison, that is from Jim Bush, to have the rest of the inventory list brought to us. You've got a copy?
I have worked on some more, but
Okay, thank you.
But I don't know exactly what you're looking for. I know that Mr. Bush had asked Mr. Underhill to look over it and see what I didn't have on there. And if you ask me what you're looking for, I might can tell you where it is.
Well, I know that one of the things that a concern of mine, Faye, was that you got a world of equipment, and I know that you're putting it where the location is, but is most of it at your place?
No, not all of it. Some in different places. Like the Cascade system, one's in Short Mountain, one's in Bradeville. Floater pumps in Bradeville, vans in Bradeville, gators in East Side. The gator that was at Northtown is turned down right now, and we've got a lot of work that's got to be done on that one. And so I've got it, and they're trying to work on the trailer now so that we can get it to the...
Okay, this list right here is could I see some that look like they've been duplicated, unless this is,
I just took that.
you just added to
to
this?
that list.
Okay. Okay.
Because I know, like, I might have had, like, a 40-watt radio instead of 45 and stuff like that, so I can change those. Like I said, I've done anything at the hospital, so I'm not.
Well, one of my concerns, I don't know how many of the other commissioners feel this way, is a lot of the stuff is down there at your place that needs to be in a central kind of location, and I don't know where that would be.
I don't have an office and I don't have a building, so I would love to have a building, and because like these disaster caches and stuff, like for instance, these radios that I've got out in fire departments are not supposed to be. They're supposed to be kept in a cache. And that's the way Homeland Security sees that. You keep them for disaster, and then when you have something, then you pass them out as other agencies come on the scene. My thoughts on that was that my fire departments needed them worse than them sitting in a box in the trailer.
Right. So are you saying that if we were to find a kind of centralized place that could be office space plus storage space for the emergency equipment there?
I'd be thrilled to death.
Okay.
But it has to be secure.
Sure, I understand. I'm just trying to find out to see, you know, because if everything's down there in Gazaway, it's really out of the way to get the stuff that you need.
What, for instance, are you concerned about being?
No, it's a whole thing.
Well, a lot of it's not in Gazaway. I mean.
Well, yeah, I show here East Side Volunteer Fire Department, different phrases, Bradeville, Short Mountain.
I mean, like, some of the stuff, you know, has to be carried in my truck. Some of the stuff is on the trailer.
And so what is that?
Different things are different places.
Could you get me what space that you would need, or what kind of vehicles you would put in there if that was to become available? You can just email it to me if you want.
Because you've got two 8x18 trailers, you've got 3 8x10 trailers, you've got.
Well, we have a place to put
Where's
that's
that?
secure. That's the 911 Communication Center up on top of 53.
They have extra space inside for
sure.
stuff?
Inside.
Yep.
Because that would be secure.
They had to build a building just to put around the generator.
Right.
Roy, do we have room around your facility?
Yes, sir.
He said inside.
We do have a shelter that houses a generator.
Right.
There is some additional storage space in that shed.
That will
And
house
we have
5 trailers.
Are they inside there?
The trailers would be sitting out inside of the fence, I imagine, wouldn't they?
Inside there.
Let's go. Don't sit and take on me, ask Governor. Jump on this horse, let's go.
It's hard over me jumping.
They got with floors on, and the floors are off.
well, we're talking about some of the equipment that can be put outside.
The trailers would not have to be housed in a shelter. They're currently not now.
Right.
Now, why would you want to take something that is my responsibility to take to the scene, where I have to drive 15 miles to get it, where it's sitting right there when I get the call?
Well, the same reason as it's sitting down in Gazaway, which is 15 miles away from Woodbury.
but I'm the one that has to pull it. So that's what I'm saying, why, I'm just curious, I'm not objecting, I'm just asking.
I don't know, maybe it's something that we feel is, kind of belongs to county type like that. I'm sure that, the government's got a lot of materials and everything, responsibility that you would be responsible for. But it's kind of like you want your toys close to you, I just think it's we need a central location for it.
Another question. Michael, Sheriff, and Roy, what all has not been delivered to y'all that has been supposed to go to y'all through these grants?
Currently, there's some radios that have been ordered.
How long's that been?
They were ordered last week.
When?
They've just been ordered.
Last week.
Okay.
The money was awarded in February, but they were ordered last week.
February?
When the funds become available.
Of 2011 or 2012?
Well, and there is paperwork that goes along with things. It's not like, okay, you can spend it, so.
Mike?
We finally got a fire gear. I got mine moved. Yeah.
Everybody get theirs? What about you, Darryl?
They still working on the rings and eyeball and the SCBA.
That's on the same grant as the radios.
I know the last meeting y'all had that a lot of issues had come up that you did not know nothing about.
I didn't know we had much.
So you hadn't been communicating, or nobody had communicated to you about anything like that?
I hadn't been to a meeting in a year and a half.
That was the meeting that this was decided on. We went back and pulled the minutes, and the meeting that was done, you and, what you call it there? And the meeting before that was, the only time we had anybody was when James, what's his name?
Gentlemen, I don't know. We've been asking for an inventory for as long as I can remember.
First time I've ever been asking that.
And, and we still, this is twice now, and we still don't have a full inventory. We still don't know what we've got.
What are you looking for?
I want a complete inventory of everything anything, just like I asked every fire department. We want to know what we have in inventory. What we have in inventory. That's all I ask. Period. I'm not looking for nothing. I just want an inventory.
I just gave you everything that's been issued to EMA. I may not have
Well, you said
possession of it. There may be 2 boxes of gloves instead of 1. I'll have to go and look and see. There may be 1 in my truck, and there may be 1 in the building. But that's a $2 box of gloves. And I probably paid for them out of my pocket. Back in 2004, when you last term, you did this same attack, and you told
Same what?
attack.
Attack?
I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or what. But
Oh,
you have
please.
something. But anyway, you told that I took.
All right, let's just cut to the chase, Faye. I don't want to hear nothing about you being a woman.
I don't know.
This ain't got nothing to do with it. You're an administrator.
I
Administrator.
try to be,
Okay. And the only thing I asked you was an inventory.
and you got it.
You
Twice.
said this is not the complete inventory.
I did not say that. I said if there is anything else, I will add it to it. This is all that I know of at the moment. I have things that are still coming in.
It's 4 pages. That's quite a bit of stuff. How do you think this is a pretty good?
It's
As good as you can do right now?
It's really close.
It looks like a lot to me.
But I know I had a lady call me just this morning who told me a commissioner had told them that every time I write a grant, I get 20% of that grant, and I make $100,000 a year off the grants. I get 0 money off any grant I write. It's all volunteer. I wrote the grants for the lights that are on the horse show arena, the Clayton Glen Arena, on the ballpark, on the tennis courts, the new roof for the building over here, for the community center, for the ag center. Let's see, the old city hall. I had no money for that. When I took this position in 1994, this county had only asked for $3,000 in disaster funds in the previous years. When I went to the different departments and asked them why we weren't asking for that money, I was told it was too much trouble. I took it upon myself to take each department, keep up with their overtime and their equipment so that they could get this disaster funding. Since that time, this county has received millions of dollars in disaster assistance that we would not have gotten because it was too much trouble. And now they keep up with them themselves, now that they have figured out how it works, and it's not that hard, which is great.
I appreciate what you've done all these years. And thank you for bringing the inventory out.
Is there any other questions?
Jim? Any more questions?
I've got one more question. Oh. As of the 9th month, 30th day of 2010, the state has notified you that you had not sent in the paperwork as of the fire chief to take a 16-hour fire chief orientation course, and you had not sent no reply back of any kind. And
I don't have to take that course.
And well,
I was grandfathered in.
this is from the state,
Oh, I'm just telling you,
and they said
Kevin and somebody.
it was temporary for 1 year, and it was issued a 4/1 of 08. And they said that we are not recognized unless you take a class, which it starts on the 27th of October. But this, what we've got right now, we're not valid as far as the state is concerned.
I would have to check that out because everything I have says that we are, and I was told because I was appointed fire chief in 1995, that did not apply. It was anyone that was appointed after like 2007 or 2008, and I can't tell you the guy's name. I want to think it was Kevin. The other guy is Dennis Mulder, and they went back. I went down there. They pulled their file, and they told me not to worry about it. But I was grandfathered in.
Well, this comes from Ricky Harris. He's
That's
a
his name,
program.
Ricky Harris,
Yeah,
little short guy.
right. Program administrator. Well, that's what he's seen.
Probably back at that time.
Well, this was dated 7/24/2012
Well, I don't have that letter.
at 9:23 a.m.
I don't have such a letter. Never seen the letter. Is that something else that was taken from my emails?
No, ma'am. I don't have access to your emails.
Someone does.
Okay. If you're through, we appreciate you coming up here, Faye.
Thank you.
Okay, if you had looked in your package, we had the audit report.
Is that letter saying that we don't have, that our fire department's not recognized by the state?
That's what he's saying. You want to address that?
You can look at it and see. And by the way, it states right there, she is not recognized as a fire chief.
I think somebody looked into that before. Cynthia,
Right there says right there says that
Somebody asked you to go back and see if she had been appointed as the as if the commission had approved her at,
Didn't I look at that done?
pardon me?
I thought I might have looked at it. I think she was.
And that would have been official record.
this says that when her certificate was issued, it was temporary for 1 year. Issued 4/108. All chiefs are required by state law to attend 16-hour fire chief orientation class.
That was before. If you.
But he sent this out. He sent this out.
Oh, I
I
don't
mean,
know what.
3 weeks ago.
What has transpired, what tales have been told. I'm just telling you that at that time, I was told I was grandfathered in because I had already been fire chief for like 12 years.
I don't know about no tales either. But I know that this guy right here, and I ain't wanting to fuss with you, but this guy right here says this is from the state fire marshal's office, and he says that our fire department is not valid. And it seems like to me that would endanger some of the money we've been getting from the federal government, as well as any state funding we get. And I know that it's going to affect what we get from the county funding.
Well, that backs up the question I got from a constituent about 2 weeks ago concerning their insurance. They wanted to know if we still had fire departments in this county because their insurance company didn't recognize them. I do not remember who it was. I wish they did, and they did not state the insurance company. They had to base their fire protection based on Kittrell. They were that close to the line.
And that would have been covering your people
Over
down
in
there.
Cannon County.
Can this county commission legally fund our fire department if it's not state recognized?
No.
No.
I'm not sure about
I don't know.
Well,
I
see,
wish I had
that's the
asked.
question, see, we're asking, and then that's like he's talking about insurance.
Well,
If
this
these
right here
people-
says-
houses catch a fire, if we're not recognizing,
This
what
says-
does the insurance people say?
What's it gonna do?
They want a $50.
Exactly.
We're fixing to vote on a budget that has the fire department in it.
They're wanting a $50 renewal fee is what they're wanting.
No,
I sent that. Mike signed that paperwork.
I didn't want that. That's not what that says.
Yes. months
And you're
ago.
grandfathered in, according to you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not according to this.
State letter say.
Well, this guy here may not be right.
Oh, well.
Hey, I mean, he's for the whole state.
No, he's not. He's not the fire marshal himself. He's just a
I'm not gonna
program
vote for that budget
administrator.
till we find out.
I'm not voting on that budget.
One of the things that brought us this far anyway, Faye, is there seems to be at all these fire meetings, at the 911 and everything else, there's so much fighting done and so much anger and disputes and stuff like that, that I know that the commission, and I know there's been talk by the commission here, and what I've gathered is we're looking at revamping everything. But we certainly have to have, and I think they tried to do that with Michael Underhill and Julio, I think, which were put in a position to where they're relying on you now to guide them, right, Mike? Well, see, what?
Go ahead, nothing.
But under state law, and this commission does not abide by the state law of the powers of the county fire chief. So I keep my mouth shut, not cause any problems among the fire departments, because we have great fire departments as long as we can keep all the fighting and the bickering and the jealousy from this to that. We have wonderful volunteers out there, wonderful. And there are so many requirements that I should do that I don't, to avoid those problems, because you don't want me to do those things as a commissioner.
We just, we'd like to have things run smoothly. We have enough problem on the commission. And I think it's gonna be an ongoing thing, Faye, so be prepared
Just
for
get the
it.
county executive to find out if that,
And when we get the state, when we have somebody from the fire marshal's office come and see us.
Mike, is Mike Gannon?
if a phone call would work.
Yeah, I'd want to talk to them.
There's Mike right behind Corey.
I think Mike told y'all in the meeting after we had done that.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah.
you got a man right there can answer.
What are you, sir?
I'm the director of the State Fire Marshal's Office.
Hey, there
What's
we
your
go.
name?
Gary Farley.
If you'll stand up, please.
That's the guy we need right there.
That's the guy, yeah, Mike said that you were going to talk to us a little bit later, but now you've listened to this conversation
You like to see the letter? No?
Ricky Harris works under,
under you.
well, he doesn't work under me, but he works at the same office I do.
Well, I mean, as far as that letter goes, that would be current information, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's, and he's in the position to know.
Ricky Harris keeps up with all state certifications. He keeps up with all local recognized assistant to the commissioner, fire departments. He's pretty doggone good when it comes to keeping up with his records.
To your knowledge, is there a grandfather clause in there?
Not to my knowledge. If there is, I've been wrong before. Like I said, I've been wrong before. I would not state 100% that would be fact. Because I'm just not going to say one way or
Sure,
another.
sure. And we're not going to put you to that. You've already answered the questions that were on our mind there, so.
Is what we're lacking a 16-hour course?
I do know.
Bell buckle.
I do know that to be recognized as a fire chief and be recognized as a fire department, if the fire chief or the fire department is not recognized, the state of Tennessee's got a $25,000 death benefit. I'm a retired chief myself at Murfreesboro. That a firefighter goes down, gets killed, the fire department's not eligible for that that death benefit, or that family's not eligible for that death benefit by having a fire department that's not recognized.
That not certified, recognized.
Yes, and you're also, it's illegal to go out and actually do picture drives, ham breakfasts, fish fries, to actually fundraise. It's against the law to do that. Now, I can't quote you verbatim. I don't know about the grandfather, so I'm not going to say one way or another.
Okay.
You could be right, I could be wrong, I don't know. So I'm not going one way or another on that. But Ricky Harris is very good when it comes to keeping up with his paperwork. I will say that.
Okay,
Would it be legal for us to fund the fire department? If they can't fundraise, can we fund them as a commission?
I think as a county government, I'm also a county commissioner myself in Rutherford County. As a county government, you can fund an agency such as United Way, such as a 501(c) type of thing. You can fund those things as a county government. Now, legally to do that.
As a donation?
A donation.
But as a county department?
I
don't know.
I don't want to speak one way or another because I don't have my facts together. But I don't want to tell you something that may be wrong.
sure. Well, we're not going to just rely on you anyway.
Right.
So,
What I would do if I was you, I'd call Ricky Harris tomorrow. He's got his phone number at the end of the email right there, I'm pretty sure. He can tell you one way or another. He can give you the law one way or another. And then that way you can have it cleared up one way or another.
And if somebody needs to go to Bell buckle and take a course, they can go take it.
Yes, sir.
What's it
is
say?
he
It starts in
looking like he
October.
knows
He's right
something?
behind you.
Rick, Doug, you have any comment on this?
I'll tell you what, I'm with you, Gary, if you want, and I'm gonna see that, I've worked with you before,
Right.
and I'll tell you what, if you guys want a definite, I mean, this is the concrete, this is the gospel, as it comes to this, I can get with Mr. Farley and his man tomorrow, we get you a definite. How's that?
Yeah, that'd be good. We'd like to know.
So the book that CTAS put out about county fire chiefs, are you saying that's no longer a good book?
I haven't read the whole thing and memorized. I don't know it, I mean, it's got all good stuff and everything. But I mean, we can get, that's what I'm saying, instead of shooting from the hip, I think you guys are looking for a solid, definite answer. And I think if you can wait for one day.
When the law come into effect, recognize the fire departments, I think you have to renew it every 3 years. And there's a $50 fee. It's just like getting a recertification for a fire inspector, building inspector, plumbing inspector, mechanical inspector. You've got to have certain guidelines, and the county mayor or the county executive actually has the authority to draw the lines of each fire district. So it's...
Are you talking about, Mr. Farley, about the, what I've always heard as the fire school that goes over there near Bedford County or
Yes,
something
sir.
like that?
Yes, sir.
And that's where everybody has to go, Mike, right? And how many times, do you just go once a year, every 2 years, or?
One time to be, do the.
Okay, one time to be certified, everybody gotta go through
They
that.
come to the county and teach classes. You don't have to go over there for classes.
They did that last time, yes, but we would have to go over and do our live permit.
But on the 16-hour, it's a fire chief course, and it talks about budgeting, it talks about management, it talks about ISO, it talks about a lot of things. And it's not even has anything to do with firefighting, but the 16-hour class is the chief's class is what I'm assuming is what they're talking about.
And one more question for you. What are you wanting to talk to us about tonight?
I'm going to talk to you about the residential building codes.
Okay, we won't bring it into this then, and I'll call you up.
Okay.
Because we have, ours usually lasts a long time.
Bobby.
Is Wayne Moore, now does he work, it says fire instructor supervisor.
Wayne Moore, I don't know Wayne Moore.
Does fire instructor supervisor, Tennessee Fire Service and Codes Enforcement, 2161 Unionville, Decent Road, Illinois?
He's probably the instructor at the fire academy.
It says supervisor. Because now that's the gentleman that's been setting up the courses for me the last 2 weeks.
He's probably an instructor or something at the fire academy. I don't know him personally.
Thank you, Ms. Farley. And Faye, thank you. Okay, men,
Have a whole meeting this time.
say what time?
I think we probably need to have a whole meeting.
A whole dedicated to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
And pull that out of the budget until then.
Right. We can't vote on, I just say, yeah, we're not on the budget. I don't think you need to.
Do what now?
Todd mentioned about pulling it out of the budget, we'll just hold off on the budget.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I have mixed emotions about that. If you're trying to do that to make sure that everything is up and legal, compared to passing the budget, how much is coming out of the county that goes to all these fire departments right now? You
Right
know?
now, about 80,000 is for the fire school, the fire department, and about 75, well, how much is it? Close to 100,000 in it.
See, we still got an agreement with, you know, we got, Mike, are you gonna talk to us tonight about the fire trucks?
Okay. The only thing I found out today was, Casey said that first truck will be here next week.
Okay, y'all getting a call out of here?
We're gonna get first responder come.
All right,
But anyway, Casey said the truck will be here next week. I went by today and signed the PO for the first check to go out when he brings it in.
okay, good. Okay. Are we clear with this for right now? Doug is going to be able to get us some information that we're going to need. Todd Hollingsworth says that we probably need to have a meeting that had nothing else in except for what our problem is right now with the fire departments, about getting certified, about being able to make sure that the county residents are insured and everything else. Okay? Yeah.
Do you want me to report what I find more to you?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, they said yeah. They said
We
yeah.
got a fire department's having a fundraiser this weekend, so we need to know.
Not to mention if we have a fire tonight, if something happens to one of them, their families don't get squat.
Right.
You know, if I'm a volunteer fire department right now, I'm thinking about staying home. My
I
family's
hope
not
nobody,
getting.
nobody thinks like that.
Think about it.
My heart was on fire, you know.
Can we leave
It's,
it
it's,
pull out one part of the budget?
at some point, it quits being a joke.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin.
And
And
this-
what we
and this has been
have always done here, Jim,
This has been ongoing since 2009.
what we have,
If we'd have had a fatality, you know, from 2009 up, where would we be?
right.
Where would the family be?
This
much-
right
how much-
here
how much
has been
funding?
a problem for us, and as all this year, we have dedicated ourselves to be able to get the kinks out and do the law and go straight down by the law, and that protects us at the same time. So, you're right, we're gonna get it fixed up.
Ask him if we can pull
I
that.
wish there was something tonight that we could do.
How much, if the word gets out, how much federal funding will we have to pay back?
Ask Doug if we can pull that out.
You're at about 100,000 right now.
Vote on the budget without that in there, amended without that. Just ask him.
Was this something that you needed to get done?
I just wonder if we can vote, if it's even an option to vote for the budget with that pulled out of it for, until we clarify the fire departments.
Well,
Is that, can we pull that one that one part of the budget
Section
out?
out.
Can we do that?
I don't,
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob, I just give Faye a copy of that.
That's all.
So she knows what we were talking about.
It don't matter now though. I mean, that's like my paramedic license. Tomorrow.
That was approved.
It's just like having a driver's license. They expire, they ain't no good
It's in the
anymore.
world for me.
You had them, but they don't mean you
I
got
can
them.
drive around on a driver's license that was good one time, see where they get you, you know.
I just wanna know, I mean, I'm not one way or the other.
We don't know for sure.
I got your help.
I wish I had a gavel. We're gonna have to move on. This is something that it's on everybody's mind, we'll take care of it. Okay. Number 6, the Audit Committee report will be presented to the county committee. Committee chairman will be available for questions. Now, the committee chairman is right here, Glenn Steepley, and he sent that to you, and I think it's pretty well self-explanatory. But if you need to have any questions, then he's here to answer that. I think it was really professionally done, Glenn, and it looks like you've covered all aspects of it and trying to keep everything from what your mission statement was to be able to do. So you don't have to explain anything, do you?
No, just, we're required to report to the commission how we discharge our duties and you need to know what we've done. And this is a summary of what we've done. And of each of the findings and what has been done on each of those questions. So the result of all this will not be seen until at least our next audit, or maybe the one after that, because preliminary audits started this past February, and we started in March. And of course, the audit is coming back in October. But that's the findings and the results that we have.
And one of the things, if you'll notice there, the committee has asked every one of these office holders that do it, what they did to be able to correct it. Now, it's going to be, it's in stone. Because if next year, if they don't do what they promised they would do in here, then we have got reason for retribution and stuff.
Well, I want to thank Glenn
Yes,
for
yes.
chairing that committee, and also mention the others that are on it, Hope Tenpenny, Pat Sism, Gary Hancock, and Edward Sism.
Right.
And they
Did an
took
excellent
their
job.
time and listened to all these department heads. I met with the schools, met with all the other department heads, and then gave us this working, a working path forward to get some of these audit findings cleared up.
I think when the state sees something that this county is trying to do exactly that, it will be to our advantage. All right. I think that actually we should accept this audit committee report. And so I'll need a motion and a second. All right, it was Barker, and then mingle. Mark Barker. I didn't know which one I was supposed to say. Mark, John, or Boyd. Okay. So, number 7 and number 8.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm sorry, we need a vote on that.
Let's say aye.
Yeah, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay.
We with you, Bob.
I think I'm running too far ahead. Number 7, approve appropriations for the 2012-2013 fiscal year. Number 8, set tax rate for the fiscal year of 2012-2013. And y'all have just thrown in something there. I think on good faith, if we're going to get this thing cleared up, then we can go ahead and pass this budget. Mark and half the commissioners have been on this budget committee, so I'm sure that if they had any questions, they would have taken care of it during these meetings. Is there anybody that had looked at the budget that had, and because I do have to make an amendment on one, is there anybody that has any problems, any particular thing?
I don't want you to say I have a problem, but I have a question. On the budget that was passed out at the last budget meeting and the budget that we received in the mail, the property tax on the one that we received in the mail was lowered by $40,000
Yeah, I think
from the one that we received in our last meeting.
we went over that today, didn't we, Doug?
And I was wondering why the property taxes was lowered $40,000.
They come in better than they did last year. We upped it at the last vote.
It is lower. Look,
But why is it lowered now?
Joe one. Not that one.
You have to speak up, Diane.
But how does that lower the property taxes that's coming in now?
Tax revenue.
So that's what it is? Okay, I didn't understand how it got lowered. That,
What was it that we added 4 cents, 2 cents, to what we thought which was 40,000. In property taxes, and we deducted that 10 cents and set it over here aside to run the ambulance. And we added 4 cents that y'all voted to move from the schools.
okay.
2 counties,
Yeah.
not ambulance.
Okay, I didn't understand how it showed we was bringing in $40,000 less than what it showed before.
Last budget meeting, we added 6 cents and deducted 19 for the county general.
You should have went up what 40 in I can't say it. Over there in the loan debt service. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. That's why it's.
Well, we did.
That's right. The same amount of money's coming in total.
Right.
It just went 2 different.
It just looks different.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, if you look on page 34, this is the REACH program. Doug advises me that he thinks that this could be kicked back from the state because it shows a 0 balance, and he feels that we need to have $1 or something in there. We don't need to have that 0 in there.
You can't change it tonight because the budget committee, this is what they approved. You cannot change that tonight.
Okay, there's no amendment?
Y'all have to vote on what the budget, that would have to be kicked back to the budget committee and this delayed tonight.
Oh, the ending fund balance. What are you talking about?
Last year, we had enough people sitting here to change it. There's 5 of us on the budget committee. We actually have a quorum for a budget committee meeting right now.
You'll have to recess and call the budget committee.
Yeah, we could do that if we had to.
I believe you'd have to let everybody know that you were going to do that.
Do we need that?
As Mike says, we'd have to,
We'll find out if they kick it back because that $1, then we'll put $1 in there.
I understand it, as long as it's not there suspended, they won't kick it back. Now,
Long as
as long as it doesn't show a deficit, they won't.
Okay.
Reject it. It said there's no county funds goes into that, that's all from their grants. That's my understanding, they may be different, but when we send it in.
well, that's good, because we don't want to have something kicked back like that when we're trying so hard to be able to get it done this way. Okay, any more questions, problems with the Russell, I know you're real keen on numbers and everything else as far as, do you have anything?
Yeah, I do. On page, let's see here, bear with me a minute. I don't have the page. Item 58,900, line 425, gasoline, $14,000 miscellaneous. How come we got $14,000 worth of gas?
What page?
floating around
58,
there?
it's 58,900. Keep going. 58,900.
Mark?
Darn.
Page 27.
27.
That's,
Is that it?
Which
Gasoline.
27.
that's the gasoline that's put in the tank over there, isn't it, Mike? It's on the last page of County General.
Yeah, it's
Under
58,900.
miscellaneous.
That's, yeah. Well, I mean, if we get rid of the pump.
Thought we were gonna get rid of the tank.
If we do, we won't need it, but if we don't, then we'll still have.
And it's gonna take a while to transition back everything over. There's still, departments getting gas over there. That's just to get us to we can transition everything over to buying with the card.
My
So
card.
if we- I mean, it won't get spent if we get rid of the pump.
If the sooner we get rid of the pumps, we may not spend it all, we may not spend any of it. But that's just basically the cushion that's during the transition period.
You got a comment, Doug?
I was just sitting there thinking, that you guys are, the state and local finance, the people that approve the budgets, they're getting real nitpicky on, budgets. And I don't know about exactly what law, that's why I was telling you earlier about the dollar.
Right.
It's just to make them, budget moves to decrease $5. So they're like, I'll give them $1 if they need it, but I mean, it's just so, I don't want to see it kick back on technicality, because we're in August right now, and, we just
They wouldn't disprove our whole budget just because one little thing like that, would they?
I hope not, but like I said, they're pretty bold enough to go by the letter.
Mike said they wouldn't.
Mark?
I'll give them $1 if we get.
Yeah. You're the chairman of the committee. Now, as far as the 58,900, did that, what Mike explained?
That's.
Make sense to you?
It's what we did.
Okay.
We instructed them to start going toward the cards, but you just can't do that immediately. You got to, we're in the process of moving to the cards and getting rid of this tank over here. That, and it's not even owned by us, it's owned by, isn't it owned by the people that furnish the gasoline?
The tank is, yeah.
The tank is, yeah.
They've maintained it.
And we'll be doing just exactly the way the sheriff's department's been doing. And the city of Woodbury's been, and the ambulance service, they get,
How are we coming on them? Are we working on the cards or?
Sure, let's say we've got fire departments.
Go ahead and stand up, sir.
It's not no trouble to go to the cards, you can get them that day and go through it that day. It's, go see Ken Tucker's co-op, he'll make you a card, give you a number, issue a number, and a name to that card, and it takes effect immediately.
and we've always got some gasoline over in that tank. It probably needs to be used up though. I mean, we
That's
don't,
another thing.
they're not gonna come here and pump it out, I don't
See, we
think.
haven't ordered it, we still got gasoline, I don't want to get it back.
You hadn't ordered any more gas, that's right.
But we have, I think all the fire departments, have they switched to the co-op card?
We got all, everybody's list, every fire department's list has been turned into the co-op,
And I've asked for that copy of that list, so I'll know who's got the right to get gas. And then, but now, other than them, it wouldn't be, the housing authority buys gas from us, and whoever,
Schools,
city, the schools maybe, so we'll have to work that out.
that'll be worked out.
But I'd like to.
The housing authority could buy gas from the co-op, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Instead of us?
That'll be worked out as soon as possible.
And the schools, don't they go up to the county garage to fill their buses and stuff up?
The county garage,
Yeah, don't they do
I
that?
don't know where the schools fill their buses.
Some of them do. Oh.
Okay. Are we satisfied?
No, but I'll pass on my others because we'll be here half the night.
Well, we appreciate that.
What did we decide on this?
Okay.
Fire department?
You want to pull the fire departments out or just try to let them go on?
What's that
correct
gonna
it
do
quick
when
as
you pull
possible?
them out and put them back in? How is that gonna affect anything?
I don't think, I hate to pull it out.
I would too. I would hate pulling them out right in the middle of a budget.
You can't do that.
I don't think so.
Shut it all
Let's
down.
just
Right, we have to.
instruct them to get it, get on the phone tomorrow, and find out what we gotta do.
Hold all accounts POs till we know for sure.
It hadn't been approved by the comptroller.
Advise them to hold all POs and spending until we'll find out approved.
That's right. But
We find
before
out
the
for sure.
state can approve it, we'll know.
Right.
That's all right. You wanna go on?
Yes, we do, on number
All
7.
right, page, on number 7, you got another question?
Fire departments.
Yeah, I know, but all but the money on the fire truck.
Yeah. That's on a capital outlay. It don't reflect on the fire departments.
That ain't part of the budget.
Yeah, it's not in their budget.
It's not part of their budget. It's on a capital outlay.
Just hold the POs and everything until we get it rectified.
I think so.
You need to make a motion.
I mean, unless there's something that's gonna cause them to, not be able to run and operate, which is kind of a catch-21, 22.
It's catch 22.
You wanna go ahead with the appropriations?
It's just making sure we go down.
Clancy was on the budget committee, what do you wanna do?
Somebody make a motion.
Send on to the state, and then we gotta get this cured before it gets back?
You can always have a special call meeting on it, for that matter. I mean, we're going to have to know something pretty quick, and we can't do a special call meeting for, 10 days?
I'd have to have 10 days. Yes.
2 weeks.
Y'all will not do the budget tonight?
No.
Okay.
Have a meeting.
You wanting to pass over?
You're talking about doing have a special call meeting just for the recognition of the fire department.
Fire and do the other too.
All right, say it out loud so we all know.
Have a meeting in 2 weeks to go over the fire department and all this other mess that we've got here.
Okay, so we're gonna call a special meeting on, in 2 weeks on
Department.
the fire department's organization
The
and everything else,
clarification- for
and
the
regulations and policies.
Yes.
And then see if we can get the rest of all this other stuff that we're requesting.
Okay, all right.
We'll have to approve the chief either
For
way.
EMA.
We may have to approve the chief and all that.
You got a calendar in front of you?
So we're gonna go okay with appropriation, we're gonna cure this other stuff in 2 weeks.
I know what to do.
The 28th.
28th, that is on what day?
If it don't.
Tuesday.
I mean, 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today. I might just get up shooting. You never know.
Okay.
First week of September.
Todd, the 28th work for you? or-
First week of
Is
September.
Is September a quarterly meeting anyways? Or is that a?
No, it's October.
No,
Okay.
October's quarterly meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's first week of September, be better.
Okay, let's do it in September. Got it?
First week of September, change the date.
All right, so that'll be,
What day is that?
September 4th.
Be after
September
Labor Day.
4th.
Well, that's Monday's Labor Day, Tuesday after Labor Day.
Tuesday after Labor Day.
No, it's Tuesday, okay. That's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Tuesday after Labor Day.
We're gonna do it on 9/4 instead of 4/28.
Okay.
That's a
I'm doing
Make
on
it a week
9/4
later, yeah.
instead of 4/28.
8/24.
No,
Now, do we want to go ahead with the appropriations now?
okay.
Okay. If you look on your budgets on page 1, page 1 is a resolution making appropriation for various funds. Now, this year, the budget committee decided to divide out
Yeah, she
the
handed that.
ambulance service on their own standalone budget. And that causes them to have money put in there. Go ahead.
Reflect on the sheet, Diane.
Yeah, Diane handed another
Yeah,
page
yeah,
out.
no, yeah,
Okay.
it's on, but it's page, it substitutes for page 1. All these different funds here are on page 1, page 2, and then page 3 is the rest of the resolution, and it ends on page 4. Passed this 14th day of August 2012. Debt service, the school fund, the highway fund, the drug fund, all of those are in front of you, and you've had ample time to look at it. The Budget Committee worked, I think, 9 meetings on these figures. And this does include a raise for the county employees. They haven't had one in 5 years.
5 years, right.
And they deserve it. Are there any other questions other than we've already had? Now, these are the bottom lines here on page 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the rest of the, the figures that make that up are the ones that y'all were talking about a while ago, page 24, 25, whatever, that make those figures up. Seeing there's no more questions, I make a motion that we approve these appropriations as recommended by the Budget Committee.
Do I hear a second on that? Second by Kevin George. We call the roll on this.
Yes.
No.
I work for the ambulance service, and that in no way influences my vote, and I vote yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Next on our agenda is number 8, the tax rate to fund these appropriations that just passed. As I said, we put the ambulance service on its own separate budget. That is 19 cents. That's on page 5 in your budgets. County General will now get $1.16.50. Solid Waste gets 18 cents. General Purpose School gets 86.5 cents. And I'll let you know also that the General Purpose School was reduced by 4 cents from last year. We could have reduced them a little bit more, but we just took 4 cents out. Each penny, though, brings in more money than it did last year. So
What's a penny bring?
20,500.
20,052, is that what it was?
It's 19.8 something last year.
20,080?
82.
82, okay. And last year it was 19,000 something.
19.8 something last year.
So each penny brings in more. So this 244 at the bottom is going to bring in slightly more money, but the general purpose school is 86.5, debt service 4 cents, ambulance service 19 cents, for a total of 244, which is the same tax rate as last year.
Great.
And I'll make a motion that we set the tax rate at $2.44 for fiscal year 12-13.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Mooneyham. Call the roll.
Mark Barton.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Todd Hollingsworth.
I work for the ambulance service, and it doesn't influence my vote, and I vote yes.
Jimmy Manning.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Sam Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Kevin Mooneyham.
Yes.
Bob Stephen.
Yes.
Roll call.
That wasn't so hard.
It ain't gonna take, no take.
It only took 9 meetings, right?
10 counting this one.
Okay.
I just hope it's really open.
All right, number 9, we have to readdress the pay per meeting of the commissioners. Now, when we left this the last time, we were sitting there saying, well, let's don't get no pay at all. The state says we have to be paid, and we say that the minimum is $25. We usually get a $50 for a quarterly meeting, which comes to about $200-something a year. This right here, if we all went for $25 each, and it don't make a difference. You can say, you can tell Diane whenever you want to have it paid. If you want to keep it for a whole quarter, or if you just want to have it paid every time that you meet.
You can give it back to her.
You can give it back, yeah. Makes no difference. Sign your check over. I'm not doing it, but I'm retired. But anyway, the law says we have to do it, and there is no other way about it. There's no choice saying that we're going to do this. You can just go ahead and do. I understand on the county commission in in Rutherford County, there's some that give their whole check to like the Animal Humane Society. And y'all get paid what, $500 a meeting?
No, so we get paid $300 for the full county commission meeting and $150 for a committee. Wow. It's roughly $7,200 a year.
Well, we'd be hung here. Yeah, that'd be the last time we ever ran for commission.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, we don't want a bad report up there at your commission meeting, okay? Okay. This is how we do business.
If it was, you're reading the news, girl.
Yeah. Okay. Jim and Russell, do you understand about the $25 a meeting? It's not going to cost the county, but maybe at the most $300 more.
It's going to cost another $1,000 a year. That's what it's going to cost.
How you figure?
Take 12 by
12 meetings.
25 is what? 300, ain't it?
Well, yeah,
We
it
get
is.
200 per commissioner now.
Mhm.
An extra 100 per 10 commissioners.
$1,000.
That's $1,000. That's $1,000 that the taxpayers got to pay. Now, we can drop this back to 8 meetings, which would be sufficient. That's a meeting about every month and a half.
I don't think we could operate that way.
And still stay within the $200 a year allotment for the commissioners.
And what is it now, $600? What is it?
200 a year.
I know, 200 a year, that's
$300.
$2,400.
$2,000. For all of us right now.
What's it got in the budget?
About 75.
What
In the
does it
budget
say?
figured on
It's that way in the budget. I've got, in our budget, we should have $10,000 in there. It was raised up.
I don't think it's quite that much.
10,000, it was raised from
7,500,
6,700 to 10,500.
Right.
when we was taxed.
So that figures $300. That
And that takes in,
$300 a year and
That's that
figure on
in.
$200 a year.
that takes in the meetings as what Russell had just said, the 25 times 12.
Okay. Well, if we did, then we done passed the budget. So I guess that passed that.
Okay, I need a motion that we change the way that we are paid, and make it $25 a meeting, and that goes for the quarterly meeting at the same time.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Kevin George makes a motion. I have a second. Clint Higgins seconds it. Call the roll, please.
Art Barker,
Yes.
Russell Reed,
No.
Kyle Osborne,
Yes.
Henry Nail,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
No.
Kevin George,
Yes.
Clint Higgins,
Yes.
Tommy Neal,
Yes.
Kevin Mooneyham,
Yes.
Bob Stephen,
Yes.
Dave Parker,
Okay, number 10, Miss Audrey Cawthorn. Are you in the? Ms. Cawthorn had wanted to talk to the commission about the Hollow Springs area and how it seems to be, come on up, please. It seems to be neglected as far as bringing attention to it. There's one thing that I didn't know here. John Prowl from the Hollow Springs area was a U.S. Congressman. We had a U.S. Congressman from here. And then, of course, Larry Trail, our senator, or Ash.
What do you want me to have?
Yeah, right there, be fine, Miss Cawthorn.
Oh, no, wouldn't hear it.
No. It goes into a recording system if it's on.
Okay, okay. I'm Audrey Rogers Cawthorn. I'm from Brayville. Lived there since 1980 at Brayville. But I grew up at Hollow Springs. And that's what I want to talk to you about. All the landmarks at Hollow Springs is gone. The school, everything, there's nothing to identify it as Hollow Springs. And the first school was there in 1873, and it ran through to 1960. So that's a lot of history. You drive through there and you don't see nothing that tells you you were there. So they said I needed to come before you to get approved to put up a landmark sign it says this is Hollow Springs, and I gave him a copy. I've changed it a little bit since then. Somebody told me that I have the copy that I revised, because somebody told me that, well, I knew it, but I forgot, that Lewis and them gave the loan or furnished the land for the first school, and I didn't have his name on there, and that's really something that would need to be on it if y'all pass it, if you pass it. And this is how I have changed a little bit since I gave that to you, Bob. These is see if that's enough. I made several copies. And I put his name on there because he did give the land to the school that opened in 34, 1934.
I don't think I have, there should be money out of it. I don't think there was a lot of community.
I don't know if I have enough copies to do it.
You have it,
You need another one, too.
yeah, I think we can read off each other.
Well, I think I didn't know how many to be out, so. And this, I made this copy off of the internet. It's just a landmark sign. I have no idea much about signs, but it's just a typical, and I have enough for every one of those. That's just, this one is a little different. That one I think would be cheaper, and it would probably do as much as this one. This one would probably take up more room, and you really would have to pull off the side of the road to read it, which might not be a place up there. I don't know how much land the county owns on the roadside there to put things. I don't know. I have no idea. 5, 6 feet, I don't know.
Well, you're 20 feet from the center line over.
Oh, 20 feet, so it would just really depend on how much.
Well, see, the center line over is going to be 12 of that feet.
Yeah.
So then you have another 8 feet over.
Okay. Okay, so it would be plenty of room for sure for this one. And the internet said that you could get the writing on both sides of the sign, which would be coming this way or this way. You could see it, either way. It said the cost wasn't much different, but I didn't have much luck with prices, which I know that's what y'all want to know. I feel like I need to loan y'all some money. I sit here and listen to you, and I think, maybe I ought to loan them some money. I found this CNC price list. Well, we got some cows at Kittrell, we can say. I mean, not Kittrell, we're not at Kittrell. We were there for a while. This is a Tennessee price list. It says very little. That's all I could find. Did you look on the internet, Bob?
No, ma'am.
We had talked about, I didn't know where you were looking.
Right,
it don't say size, anything on there. It said, it just says that when it becomes popular, and if you're a sponsor, you get it for highest price. I don't know what that means. I don't know what being a sponsor for signs means. I would think maybe the Cannon County Highway Department would have information about where to get signs, do
yeah, they will.
That's what I kind of thought.
You see it coming into town here, the Forest sign, right there at 53 South and 7. It probably is right now because of construction, but that's the same kind of sign.
Yeah, it is kind of like the same kind. Right. Now, the internet says that they get gone. Who takes them?
It all depends how much you want.
I'd hate to put a lot in the sign and get gone.
These signs get stolen quite prevalently.
Why?
For scrap value.
For scrap metal, yeah.
They're made out of pot metal. They take sledgehammers and bust them and throw it in a mixed pile of scrap, and the dealers don't know what's in there. In fact, there's been one stolen readable.
Right there inside of his store.
Right in front of a house, in fact.
Is there some made where there's you'd have to take a blowtorch or whatever you call them things to get them loose. Maybe we get that guy, one that you can't get loose.
In fact, the people
I don't want to
said,
stand up there and guard it at Hall Springs. I love Hall Springs.
Hey, what about?
I love Hall Springs, but I don't want to stand out there with a gun.
in fact, somebody asked about putting it back. My advice was to wait till scrap got down to $1.100 again, so they wouldn't steal them.
Have you checked with Kenny and see if there's anything he can go through?
I haven't, because I was waiting for her to explain what she was looking for tonight.
We might check with Kenny Gilly down here. He does monuments, and if you did it out of stone, they wouldn't be near as apt to steal it.
I saw some of those on the internet that was in.
It might cost a fortune. I don't know.
No, I thought it'd have to be kept weeded around it, and I'm 72 and I can't weed eat around it.
I think the
So
state,
somebody, the county'd have to do it.
I think the State Historical Commission gets up to $3,000 for these signs, depending on what it is.
Does the Cannon County Historical Society do anything like this?
I don't know, but you talked to them, didn't you? The
Well,
historical-
I have, yeah, I
The
have.
Bank of Commerce at one time, you know, had some little signs painted and put all around the counties to identify the
area,
community, the
yeah.
communities, you know, that no longer, you know, are called that sometimes.
They were put on a half of a barrel.
Yeah, half of a barrel, yeah, that's right. But they lasted a long time.
It still went over, don't it?
Bank of Commerce, red and white.
Oh, that'd be expensive.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing too good for our area out there.
Let's just go ahead and go. Hey, let's go ahead and go, play it, be done.
Let's do it.
We've got some twin Ks, so maybe.
How you gonna say no?
That might work.
How you gonna say no to her?
We just get a vote to.
I wish we'd have had our budget meeting on ours.
They said come before y'all, I don't know where to go from
Don't
here.
give it to me.
I guess you could say yes or no.
Well, one of the things that we're looking at here, Mr. Cawthorn, is, of course, the expense. And when we're looking as far as a sponsor goes, I'm just wondering if maybe you on the telephone would find some of the families from around there. You know, every one in Holly Springs of the schools were run by the Parker family, just about. There was always a Parker teacher somewhere there.
Citizen.
And then, of course, the citizens are there too.
Surprise.
All of those,
You're talking about fundraisers, what you're trying to get at.
well, I tell you, you did hear about our money problems here.
I did.
And it's something
And
that...
I've got tears.
Well,
Where was the school out there?
I didn't even know there was one till tonight. I've lived there my whole life.
Can I have somebody on, two commissioners that would be on a committee to figure out this?
She can talk to me and Jim.
All right.
That's their area. I'm gonna volunteer.
These are
Are they the Hall Springs?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Hall Springs. Yeah, Jim, I know. Yeah. Okay.
Jim and Kevin. And what they'll do is they'll take this, and then you'll have to figure out what needs to be set on.
I might know where we can get some money for that.
Well, there you go. He's already got his mind working.
What's he saying?
He's looking like, he says he thinks he might know where the money comes from.
Okay, okay.
We just need to get in the car one evening and go talk to some people.
Well, we can
We'll
do
come
that.
up with some money.
We can do that. The information I have on here came, it's supposed, we were talking about that in this Congress.
Right.
The other names came off the list, and this was compiled by Homer Parker, and it's the history of it, and that's the other names on here. I didn't just sit down and make them names up. They came from this, so they are, everything is, now the U.S. Congressman, I cannot find him on the internet, but he says he was.
Well, you know,
I went to the school, one of the first schools. Now, we can't really decide where he come in. We thought he may just went through one day there.
Sorry, we
rested his horse. And so, but that is the only one I don't know on that list. I know the other people. I can legitimately say they're been there and done that.
Well, I think you made a good sales pitch to us, plus you lightened up this evening. Was Judge Houston
Me and Gary will come back. They invited me there to meet Gary. Gary's my friend back here, Gary Farley. As a matter of fact, I seen when he was young, seen that he was in church. If he wasn't there, I went after him. And so he's a good man. We go way back.
Change the bid.
Well, I haven't changed it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I said, that's good. Thank you. So you'll.
Yeah, just,
You
are you
want
gonna stay?
You want my phone number or how?
I was gonna give you mine.
Okay.
Because it's 615.
Okay.
904-5908.
And you do have to tell me your name.
I'm Kevin George.
Kevin George. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was good.
Jim's famous.
Jim's mom. I want to go get him.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I wrote that. I just screwed walk.
We like this kind of meeting anyway, so where we're sitting side by side, looking at each other, everybody's, we're personal.
Hour and a half. I just preached to you.
And they're mad about us getting $25.
All right, tonight we got to have we have to start the progress to be able to, on the capital outlay for patrol cars. The sheriff took out a patrol car in the budget and is asking for 3 through a capital outlay, 5 in capital outlay, and that's he needs to be able to start taking bids. He's decided to go with Fords, and we need to be able to, I'd say, start the process of it by giving them permission to go out and get bids. And then I talked with Mike Gannon today, and Mike's, I agree with him on that. We're going to go with the same thing of trying to get the bids from the local banks and then the state pool. Now, if you remember last time, First National Bank gave us a beautiful interest rate of 1.98. Just beat everybody by 50% just about. And I think after our banks have seen that what First National, maybe they would be a little bit more apt to try to be competitive to be able to come around for outlay. Did you have something, Kevin?
If he goes to state contract or price, he doesn't have to take bids.
Yeah, if we go for the state.
Well, Sheriff, have you thought about that?
Yes, I've been checking.
Okay. We still have to start this process to be able to approve the money, so. Right?
Well, I've got one thing to say though. Instead of getting 5 cars, I've noticed he's got a car in his fund thing over here. His drug fund balance. He's got a vehicle listed. So that's one vehicle that we can take out.
Wait a minute. Is it still the same that if you get money from the drug, that you have to use it in the drug interdiction?
No.
They've changed that? Okay. Okay, and so it's not a 2-year thing anymore, right? Because before, if you bought something with the drug, you could use it for 2 years, but then you had to sell it. And it had to be used in drugs. Okay. Doug, do you have anything on the capital outlay?
I just saying that, just planning was a real good idea of what happened by doing the capital outlay, loan to catch up with the cars instead of just in 1 year to do financing because the interest rates are low. Like I said, to do the sealed bid for the loan, that would be in compliance with your debt policy. So do that.
Right.
And then, of course, have your choice to go state bid or to bid it out. But yeah, say if you start the ball rolling, you get to the
Right, and so, like I said, I talked with Mike today, and all we have to do is tell them Thursday that to send them letters to those banking institutions. And I need a vote on that then. We need to start the process on that.
Since we've got people here, citizens here, we had 3 cars in May that were over 200,000, one of them over 250,000. And I think since May, one of them has clicked over, you got 4 now that are over 200,000, right? And the sheriff said the frame was broke on one of them. We asked him if he'd been chasing the Dukes of Hazzard, but
He didn't do it. It was over on the other, wasn't it?
but he does need these cars.
Yeah.
Before we approve to make the recommendation.
I think there was no problem
I mean,
on
it
the law
wasn't in the-
enforcement committee, right?
Then the budget
No,
committee,
no,
right?
no, the budget
I don't
committee.
recall it, but
Okay.
I never did a drug fund either, so I don't know.
Okay, what you got, Tony, Clint?
No, nothing. He was asking me a question.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let's have a motion on it.
Yeah, do we have money in the drug fund to buy a loan car?
That's what
Yeah,
they
that's
approved.
what's
They
in the-
approved for to buy one.
Okay, out of the drug.
Out of the drug fund.
Is that
yeah.
gonna be one of the 5?
Well,
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I mean, what is it now?
We talked about 5, I need 7
Yeah, but we told you we'd give you 5 if you took the one out of your budget.
out of the budget.
Now there's one in the drug fund, so that cuts it back to 4.
Get one more, do what?
That cuts it back to 4.
No, his budget, his original budget would be
We
for
agreed to take down the original budget, to get 5 on the capital outlay
The
note.
one that's in the drug fund was always there, wasn't it?
yeah.
That money coming out of that drug fund is not taxpayer money, none of it. That all comes from drug offenders. All comes from drug offenders. And you can pull it out tonight and say, we're gonna give you 4, and he can take that and buy 2 tomorrow. So, here we are. We've got people riding around in cars with better 200,000 miles on them that we're
Oh, I
expecting to come and
understand.
save us, and now here we are, well, let's cut him back again. No, at the budget committee, we said, go for 5, that's what we need to do.
So the budget committee said 5.
Exactly.
Clint,
Okay,
that's why-
Clint figured out a way to do it where it wouldn't cost us any more
That's fine.
on the
Okay,
tax
well,
levy.
Well, all right. We spent almost $29,000 last year in maintenance and repair on cars and
Right.
vehicles. You buy 5 new cars, those 5 cars will be used only for cars used.
Right.
So we reduced his
Maintenance.
maintenance down to $12,000.
Right.
All right, these cars with 250 or 200,000 plus miles are not going to get the fuel mileage what a new car will get. We're hoping that they'll get 30% better fuel mileage. It'll save an average of about $24,000 a year in fuel by having these 5 new cars. You're talking roughly, what do we figure, around 42,000 that would pay for the difference in.
Right, I think it was 42,000.
Yeah.
Move that money out. Took
that's
2
good.
cents off your tax levy in the general fund and moved it over into
Debt service.
Debt service.
Pay for the
We'll
make-
take a capital outlay and the
Was it a-
40,000 pays the payment. Pretty slick.
And the sheriff, to his credit, he turned in money last year off your budget.
That's right.
And you're gonna try to this year, right?
There we go.
And so we're gonna try to run as tight as we can, all the department
That's
heads.
fine.
I mean,
I didn't know
Right.
what y'all had.
right. And I understand.
It makes sense. That won't work. It makes sense.
I know, we're gonna try it anyway. We're gonna try it anyway, but
We
even though
know our
better.
maintenance will go down, because these will be under warranty.
They're tougher cars too coming there.
That's fine.
Evidently, they're gonna be the SUVs, which,
Did the city buy a Dodge?
yeah.
$26,022, right to the penny. I paid $13,011 out of our drug fund, and the taxpayers paid the other $13,011. So they got a brand new car for $13,000. And I'm putting all the equipment on it out of our training equipment fund at no cost to nobody.
All right, let's get the ball rolling on this.
Let's keep the ball rolling. All right, then I need a motion.
I move we approve the capital outlay for the sheriff to take bids to get 5 patrol cars.
I'll second.
Okay, Russell Reed seconded. I want to make sure that his name gets down there.
Maybe we can get a yes at him for once.
Just like write it down and put it.
It's gonna be weird to hear him say yes.
2 of them at the same time.
I know.
Actually, Jim and I both seconded.
Yes?
Yes.
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 I almost want to vote no. Because they voted yes. Yes.
Glenn Elliott.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Kevin Mooneyham.
Yes.
Bob Stepson.
Yes.
You did vote, yeah, didn't you?
He did.
Okay. He does. All for.
Okay. Other business. You, see, we gotta go to other business, and then I want you to wait a minute, okay, Mr. Farley? Because we got some old business that need to be taken up before that.
Hey, wait a minute. Doug has something as well too, so he's raising his hand up. Doug is.
Doug?
Yes.
Go ahead, Doug.
You guys on public note, or you guys have done public comment on the budget yet? If not, you guys want to move forward.
What did he say?
Public comment on the budget.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's all, or that way you can have the vote.
Anybody but Corey.
I think you maybe should have done that before we voted on it,
They were looking at any kind of comments we had on the budget and the budget process that we went through.
I think what you want to do is just officially open the floor for any comments anybody has.
Well, that's what I just said to him.
If you don't say official, I don't know if it'll be official.
Oh, the official.
Yeah. Is it, and then we can go on, and that, we don't have to come back and do it later.
we should have done it beforehand.
Yeah, but
I guess not.
I guess not. See, the thing is, what they were asking for is because we have to let you know that the budget was coming up for a vote, which that is what we put in the paper on the agenda of the county commission. That's so people that wanted to voice their opinion about it had a chance to do that. So there doesn't seem to be any opposition here. Now, on the other business, I've got three things. Actually, well, two things I got written down. On the old business, we still got to address, as far as some of these commissioners were, we still got to address the sales tax increase because September 6th is the last day that you can do this for the election commission to be able to put it on the ballot. And I've got a sample ballot here, and it just says whether or not we want the increase from 8.75.
I think that could come up
on other business.
No, this is not other business. This is old business.
It's not on your agenda, so therefore it wasn't advertised. I don't think it can come up. Bring it
That's
up
what happened
old
last
business
time.
under other business.
That's what happened last time, wasn't it?
Yeah. We got
It was
It has to be. It has to be.
last meeting. That's what it was.
Right. It'll have to be on. It'll be on the item number.
I thought
Well,
it was.
it's too early anyway, though.
It's too early now?
Between 45 to 60 days before the
That
election.
9/4.
Yeah, that's why it has to be put in by September
Put it on
6th.
September the 4th meeting.
Put it on that same agenda.
September
with the-
4th.
September. Yes.
Put it on it.
I thought our meeting was the 7th.
No, the 4th. That was a special call.
We're gonna have a special call before us.
That's right.
9/4.
Can it pass on a special call meeting?
As long as it's on the agenda, it should.
As long as it's on,
Yeah,
yeah.
as long as it's
How
on.
many
Put
items
it on the
are,
agenda for the September 4th meeting.
how many items are you allowed on a special call meeting? 3?
All you want.
Are
You
y'all
just can't have
okay?
any others.
Okay. All right.
That'll be good.
That answers that.
Next.
Well, you know, we also have this, Jim wanted to ask a question or get something on the beer sales, and I think there's some people that are from the Short Mountain area here that are looking at to keep the distance the same from the church to the to Short Mountain Store Market. Anybody?
I'm here to try
Right.
to ask for a meeting.
Yeah, you're here to try to ask to be able to get the distance.
He's wanting a beer board
He's
meeting.
wanting a beer board meeting, is what he's wanting.
You're on the beer board, Jim, right?
Kevin is too.
Be 5 o'clock on
4.
September the 4th.
September the 4th.
Okay, 5 o'clock, September the 4th. You'll have your beer board meeting. And it'll be publicized here pretty soon quick. That's it. Now, Mr. Farley. Does anybody need a break like me?
Yeah.